Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. We'll be giving away this lovely bride today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this joyous occasion today. As we begin, please be aware of the professional photographers and videographers that are with us today. And our couple has asked that we all please be in the moment and try to avoid usage of cameras and cell phones, please. Inevitable. Inevitable is really the word that comes to mind with this couple right here. I've known them both for a while, and it's always been readily apparent to me that their paths would cross, and we would be here today. We all lived in the same complex. I remember seeing Danny from time to time in the neighborhood, and she always seemed to be a little intimidated by my presence for some reason. Until that day that I was unloading groceries, and her wonderful dog, we all know Mackinac, came galloping up, and being the dog lover that I am, I dropped my groceries, dropped to my knee, and with my best little doggy-woggy impression, welcomed Mackinac. And since that day, it must have disarmed her of my menacing presence. And we've been fast friends since. My wife and I have been fast friends with her since. Patrick, on the other hand. Patrick, we had a mutual friend who was kind of a hard rock and metalhead guy. And being the vocalist, at one point, his friend said, "Bro, you totally got to meet my friend Pat. This guy plays a killer axe. We got to hang out and do a bonfire and have a jam session sometime." And we did. And he was right. It was an epic session. And we had a blast, and we've been friends ever since. We've two-tracked. We've drank craft beer. We've barbecued. We shot guns. 'Cause America. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a reading that we're calling The Art of Marriage. Little things are the big things. It's never being too old to hold hands. It's remembering to say, "I love you," at least once a day. The courtship should not end with the honeymoon. It should continue through all the years. It's having a mutual sense of values and common objectives. It's standing together to face the world. It's forming a circle of love that gathers in your whole families. It's doing things for each other, not in the attitude of duty or sacrifice, but in the spirit of joy. It's speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It's not expecting the husband to wear a halo or the wives to have wings of an angel. It's not looking for perfection in each other. It's cultivating flexibility, patience, understanding, and a sense of humor, which we know you both have. It's having the capacity to forgive and to forget. It's giving each other an atmosphere in which you both can grow. It's not only marrying the right partner, it's being the right partner. This is the art of marriage. Now we have a reading by Wendy. Please be seated.
love is a temporary madness. It erupts like volcanoes and then subsides. And when it subsides, you have to make a decision. You have to work out whether your roots have so entwined that together that is inconceivable that you should have apart. Because this is what love is. Love is not breathlessness. It is not excitement. It is not the promulgation of promises of eternal passion. That is just being in love, which any fool can do. Love itself is what is left over when being in love has burned away, and this is both an art and a fortunate accident. Those that truly love have roots that grow towards each other underground, and when all the pretty blossoms have fallen from their branches, they find that they are one tree and not two.
I'm so glad I listened to that stand-up comedian. Aziz Ansari, you changed the course of our life. Michigan to Maine and back, Air Force, no sleep for Pat. And now we stand here as husband and wife. And we will love each other till the end. The mountain or valley, the raindrops or the sunshine. Will you stand by me, my best friend? Forever I'm yours and forever you're mine. Danielle likes hockey, Pat likes guitars. They both like to hang out at bars. The future is unknown, but together they'll find it. And now their big day is here, so let out the laughter and cheer. The moment is ours, so seize the moment. We will love each other till the end. Through mountains and valleys, the raindrops and the sunshine. Will you stand by me, my best friend? Forever I'm yours and forever you're mine. We will love each other till the end. Through valleys or mountains, raindrops or the sunshine. And will you stand by me, my best friend? Forever I'm yours and forever you're mine.
This is a reading from Gift from the Sea by Anne Morrow Lindbergh. When you love someone, you do not love them all the time in exactly the same way from moment to moment. It's an impossibility. It is even a lie to pretend to. And yet, this is exactly what most of us demand. We have so little faith in the ebb and flow of life, of love, of relationships. We leap at the flow of the tide and resist in terror its ebb. We are afraid it will never return. We insist on permanency, on duration, on continuity. When the only continuity possible in life as in love is in growth, in fluidity, in freedom, in the sense that the dancers are free, barely touching as they pass, but partners in the same pattern. The only real security is not in owning or possessing, not in demanding or expecting, not in hoping even. Security in a relationship lies neither in looking back to what was in nostalgia, nor forward to what it might be in dread or anticipation. Living in the present relationship, and accepting it as it is now. Relationships must be like islands. One must accept them for what they are, here and now, within their limits. Islands, surrounded and interrupted by the sea, and continually visited and abandoned by the tides.
What a beautiful reading. It's time for the exchange of the rings, please. Pat and Danielle have prepared vows for each other.
Patrick. When I was in the 5th grade, I wrote a short story called In the Year 2010. It was fiction, but it summed up what 11-year-old me thought my life would be like in the future. In the story, I was married to a man named Bob. I had 2 kids, and my car drove me to work every day. Well, 2010 came and went. I wasn't married, I didn't have any kids, and well, none of us have self-driving. As everyone around me got married and started families, I began to doubt myself. I was lonely, and I was tired of pretending that I was happy with being single. As fate would have it, just when I was starting a new chapter of my life and buying a house, you came along with your orange Jeep and your questionable guitar skills. Everyone who knew us independently said that we were perfect for each other, but I just didn't see it. But then, chemistry. Technically, it's the study of matter, but some prefer to think of it as the study of change. And I think that you and I were both finally ready for that change. What I discovered was someone who is incredibly smart, one of the most intelligent people I know. You encourage me to think independently and ask questions when something seems too good to be true. You are extremely funny. Our sarcastic senses of humor meld together perfectly, and you make me laugh constantly. Your tactical, relaxed approach to life balances out my organized, type A personality. In the zombie apocalypse, there is nobody that I'd rather have by my side, except maybe Moses. You were thoughtful. One day when the Mormons came to our door, instead of turning them away or engaging them in vigorous debate, you invited them inside and offered them your only piece of pie because you had heard that they don't get to eat much when on the road. You helped me to stop and enjoy the moment and not to worry about the past or the future, but to live in and appreciate the present. My family and friends tell me that they have never seen me happier, and that is because of you. You're the most honest and loyal person I know, and everyone here today is lucky to call you a friend. And so I make these promises to you from this day until the end of my days. I promise to love you unconditionally. I promise to be honest with you, even when that's not the easiest choice. I will be your partner in life and work with you as we raise our children. I promise to stand by your side and support you when things are good and when they're not so good. I will help you solve your problems, or I will just listen if that's what you need. When we argue, I will stick it out until it's resolved, because we can always talk it out and come out stronger on the other side, even if it means we miss the fireworks on the 4th of July. I will make our marriage a priority, even when other life events get in the way. I will respect you and encourage you to be your best self, and I will do everything in my power to make you happy. I love you. Ali.
I knew I should have gone first. Danny, I don't believe in love at first sight, but I knew that I liked you immediately. The very first time I handed you an incorrect answer slip on trivia, an incorrect answer on a trivia slip. I have something in my eye. A year and a half later, when I found out that you were single, you started getting other slips of paper from me, hastily scrawled notes on the back of old envelopes. Your response was kind, but disappointing. It only took a nationally headlining comedian at the peak of his career to convince you to do the right thing. You invited me out a couple of times. You were playing it cool, no big deal. But I was playing it cooler. Because I knew that when I first asked you out that you were the kind of girl who could really mess me up. I knew that you could ruin me. So I played aloof. And then when Phil told me that you were freaking out and that you thought you had blown it and missed your shot with me, I suddenly got a lot more animated. I bought all your drinks. And we made a date to watch Breaking Bad later that night. And that night my worst fear came true because you ruined me immediately. I used to hate cold things and reality TV and sharing my food. But these are, happily, part of my life now, with a little compromise. Going forward, I can't promise to love the feeling of cold feet on the back of my knees. But what I can do is promise to love warming you up on those viciously cold days when the low winter sun fails to provide any warmth, because you deserve all the comfort that I have to give. I can't promise to enjoy Survivor and the Real Housewives of wherever, but I do promise to resist yelling "fake" from the basement with all of my might. I may not be successful, but you do deserve all the effort that I have to give. And we've already established a pretty solid food sharing agreement. But if I'm having a bad day and I don't particularly feel like sharing, I at least promise to remember that French fries are cheap and that your happiness is the most valuable thing in the world to me. So unreservedly and without compromise, I promise to cherish you and honor you and respect you and love you more and more every day. Every day of my life, until the last one. And remember, we agreed that I get to go first.
Please put your hands together for those vows. And now it's time for the exchange of the rings. Do you, Danielle, accept this man Patrick as your husband, joining him today in matrimony, offering your friendship and loving care, honoring his growth and his freedom, as well as your own, cherishing and respecting him, loving and embracing him through adversity and times of joy? If so, answer now, I do.
I do.
Please repeat after me. With this ring, I thee wed.
I thee wed.
Take it as a sign
Take it as a sign
of my everlasting and unconditional love,
of my everlasting and unconditional love,
with all that I am
with all that I am
and all that I have,
and all that I have,
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
as your wife.
as your wife.
Do you, Patrick, accept this woman Danielle as your wife? Don't get ahead of me. Joining with her today in matrimony, offering your friendship and loving care, honoring her growth and freedom as well as your own, cherishing and respecting her, loving and embracing her in times of adversity and in times of joy? If so, answer now, I do.
I do.
Please repeat after me. With this ring,
With this ring,
I be wed.
I be wed.
Take it as a sign
Take it as a sign
of my everlasting and unconditional love,
of my everlasting unconditional
with all that I am
with all that I am,
and all that I have,
and all that I have,
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
as your husband. Love given freely has no giver and no receiver. You are each the giver and the receiver. The wedding ring is a symbol, an invisible form of the unbroken circle of love, so that wherever you go, you may always return to your shared life together. May these rings always call to mind the power of your love. Danielle and Patrick, in the presence of your family and friends who have joined to share this moment of joy, you have declared your deep love and affection for each other. You have stated your wish to live together, always open to a deeper and richer friendship and partnership. You have formed your own union based on respect and honor. Therefore, it is my joyful responsibility to officially acknowledge you and this union as husband and wife. You may now seal this marriage with a kiss. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to present to you for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Patrick and Danielle Quinlan. Please rise. And put your hands together for the lovely couple, ladies and gentlemen.